welcome back to another video on my channel. So today I'm actually doing a tutorial video on a villager breeder. This villager breeder was originally designed by um, some people on the Minerva server, which it's quite a cool breeder. And the reason this thing is really efficient. I think the best rate it gets is about 96 villagers per hour. So this is really cool. It'll work on a realm server. It'll work on really any server that you like. So as you can see here, this thing's been running for only like 20 minutes, and we've got like quite a bit of little babies there. We've got one grown up here, um, but that guy kind of like was spawned in by accident by me. But this thing is absolutely amazing. So I have the bounding box mod on, so you can see how this thing works. So as you can see here, there is this point here, this block right here, this block right here, right there is, if I can get a sword so I can point at stuff, this block right here is the middle of this entire thing. So that block, it's not the door, it is that block, the bottom block of the door. And the reason this thing works like this is because there is a 9-block radius here. So there's a 9-block cube in this area. Now, obviously, as you can see here, it does not have to be, these are the spawn chunks, that is a spawn chunk. It doesn't have to be in spawn chunks. This, as you can see, is right outside it. It doesn't matter. It can be anywhere in your world. It works quite well. As you can see, there's always love hearts here, and the only really requirement here is a steady supply of food. So you can see here, we can just go like this. I just remembered they don't like beetroot. Figure it out. And bread, carrots, potatoes, carrots, potatoes, carrots, potatoes, bread. So as you can see, love hearts are just gonna this food will cycle around. I accidentally threw my sword in there. Uh-oh. There we go. So yeah, then these villagers will be able to throw it. So I guess I'm going to break it down here. I'll show you guys how this thing works. As you see, these guys they haven't grown up yet, but give them time, give them time. These guys are, hey, So, again, this thing produces quite a lot of villagers, there's love hearts everywhere. Amazing. So let's get to the kind of how this thing works. Okay, so this is part 2, how this thing works. So, right here, in fact, you know what, I will do you guys a favor, and clear this water. Okay, so right here, as you can see, the food will be cycled around on this, so you do need some packed ice. So if that is a problem, you can just a food loop where the food just loops around until a villager picks it up. And you can see the food will make them willing to breed, and as you can see, they're breeding. And down here, there's tons of little baby villagers in there, as well as right here, which these ones have been bred. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably a couple, and 8, 9, 2 more baby villagers. So now, the next part is, as you can see here, in each green glass there's 2 villagers. And this is, if I can get some carrots, for one reason. So when they pick it up, what will happen is when they throw it, see if I can catch it here, when they throw this, what will happen is it will not go under here feeding the babies. Also, glass does not suffocate villagers or any mob, just so you guys know. So yeah, now another thing to note is, if I can get up here far away enough, the villager radius is quite big, so if you have a door within this radius of this breeder, you will have problems with your farm. Unfortunately, that is how it works. Now, the mock village is quite simple to build. In fact, this is the most important part. So to start off this farm, you guys are going to need 3 villagers. So I'm going to go to part 3, which is block by block tutorial. Alright, part 3. So the materials on average you're going to need to build something about like that is something like this. You're going to need quite a bit of polished andesite, quite a bit of glass, about a stack of packed ice. The glass, this is not exact. I will put the exact number in the um, description below. 40 pistons, you may be wondering, this is for getting the glass in place. Uh, a stack of a light source block, or just, you'll only need about 16 of a light source block. Torches, 16 fences. This depends on how many pairs of villagers you're going to do. So one fence per pair of villager. So this is basically that. You're going to need quite a bit of just any solid block. Couple stacks of slabs for multiple things. And as you can see there, these blocks right here. Let me turn this off. These blocks right here can be slabs. Actually, most of these blocks can be slabs. The only things that cannot be blocks is all the glow. I guess yeah, all the glass has to be glass. The blue glass here does not actually have to be glass, but any other color of glass that you saw on here has to be glass. This wool is not needed. It's just to show you need, I believe, 6, 7 between the villager, and there is 6 doors up there. The last thing you're going to need is 3 villagers to get you started, so do that. I'll grab the materials we're going to need. Alright, so let's get building. That looks kind of cool. So over here we're going to start by building the main area where the villagers will be breeding. So build up a couple blocks. You are going to need some blocks underneath, and then build a 4 by maybe, I believe, 18 if you're doing 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then you're just going to fill this in. Okay, so you filled this in. So now what you're going to do is you're going to line this with glass, which I forgot to grab. So you are going to need quite a bit of glass, but you're going to line this thing with glass, which honestly, which you're going to line it right here on these. Okay guys, so hopefully you have built your walls up to 3 blocks tall. So you guys know, so there's 2 blocks here and then a third. And this has to go all the way around. So yeah, now the next step is to, actually you don't need to have one side open, but I just didn't have that. So the next step is to create a glass wall, 3 tall, with a gap opening, so it is 1 above that. So next up, what you're going to do is you are going to find the center of your build. And for me, it's right about here from what I can tell. And just cover that up. So this should be about the center. Yep. And then you're going to take some of your fence posts or cobble walls. I am using fence posts because that was on the materials list, so you actually are going to need more than 16 fence posts. You're going to need actually 20 fence posts. So yeah, once you have that in place like that, now these can also be cobble walls, but be sure to have blocks right here going all around here so they are fully extended fence posts. So just so you can see up top, that's what it should look like. That is very important that you do that. So now you're going to pick the side that you don't have the little gap here for the babies to go through. You're going to get yourself your water bucket or water. Obviously, that wasn't on the list, but I figured you guys would know. In fact, let's move this for here right now. So you're going to take your water. Now the Best way to do this, guys, is if you have regular ice, then what you can do is something like that. Now, this is where your fence posts are going to come in handy. So you're going to put a fence post right here. Oops. And here. So once you've done that, you're going to take another 2 buckets of water, or if you do have ice, if you're for survival, if you have ice, that's really good. So next, as you can see, I knew that was a direct center because this ends right here. There should be, if you do the exact design we have, or I am doing here, you should have it end right on these blocks here. So next up is going to be the task of putting in your fence posts. So starting from this side, count 1 block off this way, turn around and put one here and here. So like this, and this is where you're going to start. You should have 15 pairs, I believe. So you can just basically, the most efficient way is to do this all the way to the end here, and then stagger so they're not connecting anywhere. And make sure that you do not have this block or this block, any of these 2 blocks here with fence posts. That's why there's not one here or here. So it's very important because we need these 2 to be open for a reason. So your next task is going to be building up your um, glass walls again. So I believe, yeah, you go up 1 more block around this, and you don't need to build this area up here. Just go up here. What we're going to do is add in the packed ice. So again, you're going to need about a stack of this. So I'll just go around here and make sure these are on top of all the glass blocks, and they should be um, the second block above the fence posts. If you guys need a little bit of a reference, that is how that works. Alright, so as you can see, this thing looks something like this. If you want to see me build this in survival, I have a link in the description below of an episode of Supercraft where I build this. Alright, so your next step is to actually stagger the glass in between the fence posts. So the best way to do this is just stagger this area here. Again, best way, most efficient way, especially for survival, is you just stand on the ice here and just do this kind of slowly, and then come around this side and do the same thing. Now, when you don't have something here, just leave that empty. You're actually going to need to put something there, even though this is here. Go ahead and just make this an L shape. So now just continue staggering like that. Okay, so now you have your glass all in place like this. So now this is each one of these boxes where 2 villagers are going to go. So again, you can start off small by putting 2 villagers in here, bring them some food, do stuff like that. So next step is to do the glass layer around the sides here. You don't need to put a block on the outside, I just did, so you guys can see. I just think it looks a lot nicer that way. But again, this glass here, sorry, well actually, these glass blocks have to be glass. That is one thing that needs to be glass. And these glass blocks have to be glass as well. If you're wondering why, you will find out later. So next up, what we got to do is we got to put in, it looks like, let's see. Yeah, we got to pretty much do this little area here. So, yep, you're going to come over to the side here where you had your hole set out. This is, honestly is up to you. I'm just going to do a really simple collection. So you're just going to have the baby villagers fall into a little they're just going to fall down into some water stream down here, and they're gonna water stream over here. In fact, we'll put it up one, and we're gonna make sure water doesn't get out. Now, good note for you guys is to put blocks all over here, or glass blocks, or any type of block really, on these edges, because zombies can, since they are too tall, if you have a block right here, they can get through these corners here. So really good. You guys probably already know that if you're probably already done a bit of research on villagers. Anyways, so I'm just gonna have them fall into some water here. And then maybe I'll have this stop. Alright, next is going to be getting the villagers in here, which is the most fun part of this entire thing. So, um, just something real quick, you're going to want to build 4 blocks up. On the 4th block, you're going to just do something like this. For now, this is temporary, so if you have any netherrack or any temporary block, this is to place your pistons on, which I told you you were going to need pistons, and you're going to find out why. Alright, so for you guys, I'm just going to do the bare minimum so you can see if you're just starting this out here. 1, 2 villagers, and then you're going to have to nudge them apart like that, and like that. Okay, so here's how the pistons are going to work. You're going to do this for every single one, but to show you guys, I'm going to put villagers in every single one. So if you guys had all those villagers for some reason, I'll show you guys how to do it. Okay guys, so once you've gotten all your villagers in here, basically all you gotta do here, let me get rid of that, and get myself some of this nice polished andesite. What you're going to do now, just quick note, these guys will try to jump out, don't worry about it, they cannot jump 1.5 blocks. So, here's the next part. So you're going to line pistons, and the best way to do this in survival is kind of something like this, where you're on the ice here, and you kind of just do this. It's kind of annoying, but trust me, you're going to have to do this to have the full. Now, if you guys are concerned about not having enough pistons, um, good luck on getting those, but this is a pretty intense villager breeder. If you guys want to build up a cheaper one, I will be making tutorials on cheaper ones. Now, earlier in the, I guess, video or in the collection system, I don't think I said that you needed a power source block, so, yep, just go ahead and just put power source blocks on all these blocks here. So you're going to have something that looks like this. These could be redstone blocks, but if you do something that's constantly powered like that, you're going to have to do this second. So next, what you're going to do here is you are going to uh, push this glass right into their heads. So you're going to just layer glass wherever villagers are. And for me, even in creative, this is kind of difficult. But do this after you get your villagers in. So yeah, basically you're going to do that. And you're going to, in fact, that one doesn't need to be there. So you're just going to power all of your pistons. They should all be extended. Yep. Alright. So now retract them all. Okay, so once you have retracted all your pistons, what you're going to do is you are going to put slabs under every single piston. So once you've done that, make sure there's no little uh, slabs here and slabs here. So next you're going to be, so as you can see here, you can see all the glass has been pushed into their thing, and all this glass here has to be glass. That is very important that this is glass, because or leaves or something that doesn't suffocate villagers. So once you've done that, you should have something that looks along the lines of this. This thing looks absolutely insane. The next step is to do something else. This time we are going to be doing a little bit of quick little redstone tricks. You're going to need about 4 of these. I don't think I said that in the materials list. Any pressure plate will work. I'm using iron because it looks nice. And a water source block there. Alright, so just kind of jiffy it around so it will put the items all the way around. Make sure you watch it cycle just a couple times. So we'll watch it cycle. Oh, still didn't work. Alright, so we need this to turn, looks like. So yeah, make sure there is no pressure plates in the corner. That is important. Alright guys, so when you do the water, make sure there is no pressure plates in the corners. Just a quick note, as long as there's no pressure plate in the corner, the items will not get stuck. Okay guys, so the next step you are going to want to do is to hook up the mock village. So you're going to need one villager for this, and then you're going to need any sort of solid block. So for this case, I'm going to use some cobblestone, and we are going to find the direct center, or the sign, the center where you put the sign, and then you're going to count up here, and then it doesn't matter which one of these you put it on, just make sure it's in the center of this whole farm, and then count up 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 5th block. Then you will start making your 3x3. So your 3x3 can be in any way, shape, or form as long as it is above the farm in some way. You can then um, get rid of these blocks here. So the next step is to place a block here, and you're going to do a ring of light sources around this 3x3 platform here. This number 1, if you don't want to use glowstone, you can use something like sea lanterns if those are easy for you to get, or you can even have blocks here. You can even have something like, I don't know, any light source block, fire I guess, but that wouldn't be very good for the villagers. As long as it is a solid block light source, that is all you're going to need. So your next step here is to place in your doors. So your doors, doesn't matter what doors you pick. I'm just going to use the standard oak door. Again, doesn't matter, any door. And you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Quick note, when you place your doors, you can go into your F3 screen by either FN, F3, or Control F3, or F3 by itself. And make sure you are facing west or east when you place the doors, so they are facing west or east. That's just something quick. Then what you can do is you can cover these doors with blocks. There does not have to be sky access in front of the doors. A lot of people think that. No, it just has to be directly above the doors like so. So the next step you're going to do, or probably a step you should have done a little bit earlier, is to put a villager in that area. Doesn't matter what type of villager it is. It can even be a Niwit. So once you have done that, your village should be created. If I get the bounding box mod out, you can see we have a yellow sphere in this area. Now again, you don't have to build this in the spawn chunks. That one was not, and it still works. So the next step for you to do is to get some sort of food farm going. Um, Obviously I'm creative and I can just spawn in all sorts of food. I can just put a ton of potatoes in here, and then maybe put some more potatoes eventually. Maybe some more potatoes. More potatoes. Alright, so as you can see, all those potatoes will cycle around, and villagers will take those potatoes. And you will see them start to make love hearts soon enough. And maybe make a little bit of a baby. And all the babies will cycle into here. The villagers take about 20 minutes to grow up. Any baby entity takes that long to grow up. Maybe there's not enough food in here. Let's put in a little bit more here. If you guys didn't know this little trick, it's Control Q. In fact, might as well give them some bread. And that'll get them happy. They should start doing their little dances and, you know, throwing food. Should see them throwing food in there. I don't see it right now. Well, I just saw some with the potato. Yep, we have potatoes. Let's just do a little bit more bread. Not fish, whoops. Carrots, potatoes, carrots, bread. I'm gonna stand here for those fish to come back. Alright. Carrots, potatoes, breads, carrots, potatoes. And you should be good with all of your food. If you guys are wondering for a food farm, you can make a little something like with like a little micro farm for all sorts of food. You can make big farms with villagers. Anyways, this is how you build this villager breeder, and this thing works really well. The rates are about 96 villagers an hour. So if you AFK here for an hour, you will have 96 villagers waiting for you. Just make sure they're not in a one by one area. And yeah, good luck.